Hi, today we're putting on, here at Sprinterworld.com, we're putting on our new style rear bumper step with a hitch. The bumper step that we're using is black. It's very similar to the factory bumper step, and it matches our running boards perfectly, and we're adding a hitch with it. Packed on the Sprinter when it leaves the factory is this big tie-down loop that's used to lash the vehicle down to whatever car carrier is going to be transporting it. And it's usually on the passenger side. You just take it off and discard it. And the nuts and bolts that come with it, we're not going to reuse. We're going to use fresh nuts and bolts. Now, we've already taken the time to mount our the rear step bracket in place. It goes on the inside of the frame. And what we did was we put the bolts, pushed them through from the inside out. But we're not pushing them through all the way because we're going to slide the hitch up and then we're going to push them right back into place. So basically what you're doing is mounting these first and then sliding the hitch up into place. All right, so we're ready to put the hitch up into place. Again, we put the bolts in from the inside going out. They're flush up here, and we're going to be able to slide this right up into place with some help. And you're going to push the bolts through. And now it's being held on by the hardware. We put the fasteners, the nuts and the washers up finger tight. We did that so that we could kind of get everything into place, and once we're happy with how level the hitch and the bumper step are, then we can tighten everything down for a final tightening. So put your nuts and washers on finger tight at this point. Here's a rear stiffener bar that gives the bumper step lateral stability. When you drop this into place, it's all bolted together. It's very, very strong. But one thing you should know about the orientation of this bar is there's this little welded tab on here, which is used to mount the trailer connection with the sheet metal screws that we're going to provide, the self-drilling sheet metal screws. So what you do, you just drop this down right on top of the holes, line up the holes, and then you put your bumper step right with the bolt sticking down right into place. Inside on the underside of the bumper step are these grooves, and these gold-colored bolts slide right into the grooves. These are the bolts that are going to go through the whole assembly that we just put on. And there's a little back lip, and that gets folded back toward you. All right, we put this the rear bumper step in place. We got the threaded stud sticking down, and we just put the nuts on one thread. Just put them on one thread. Don't even finger tighten them. Just put them on one thread, and allow you to move it back and forth and center it. And what we normally do is we center this little ridge on here to this body seam on both sides. Stand back, give it an inspection, and when you're satisfied with it, you can tighten these a little bit more. And then we're going to tighten the whole assembly. Okay, so we put the bumper step in place, put the studs through, spun on the nuts only one turn so we can center it. So we centered it, and we're satisfied with it. Now we're going to tighten them up, and we're going to hold up on the bumper step to keep it away from the mouth of the hitch while we're tightening it. And then we're going to tighten up the whole assembly. Okay, we're going to mount the bracket that holds the trailer socket on the tab that comes pre-welded to the cross beam that's under here. I already made a hole for simplicity, but you mount that there, you put 2 screws in, and then you put the trailer socket in place. You'll also notice that there's a gap between the mouth of the hitch and the bottom of the bumper step. Once you get that squared away and you're satisfied with the angle of the running board looking from the back and looking straight down, because when the main bolts are loose, you can still move this a little bit and get it to where you're satisfied. And once that's the case and you got this little gap, tighten everything up solid and you're all finished. Thanks for visiting us at Sprinterworld.com.